All right, we're at Bitcoin Alive and I'm here with Michael Dunworth.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Just had my brain ripped open by his amazing talk on donating Bitcoin into the future. Can you just go for it? I just want you to just completely to give us a TLDR and rip open that wormhole again.
Yeah, okay. Well, so Bitcoin's really, really heavy and really hard to bullshit, so it's immutable. And that mutability principle means that we can actually send a message with confidence that it will arrive in the future, almost certainty. That's what deterministic means, basically. It means it's absolutely certain it's gonna happen. So Bitcoin's given us that, and now we can actually start writing words into the future. So Bitcoin is like a history channel. It just turned off, I think. Is that always turned off? The screen turned off, is that okay?
I think that's okay, it's still on at the back.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry, I stopped, sorry.
No, that's all right.
Anyway, Bitcoin is like a history archive, like that's what it is. So we're always like, Wikipedia is about history or whatever, but we can write history now. We can create history. We can time lock coins, throw them into the future for people, and then it's almost like giving out lotto tickets. We are very fortunate to say we're at the beginning of Bitcoin. It's gonna be worth a squillion zillion dollars, probably the everything dollar, it literally will be a vortex that sucks everything in. So now it's never getting any cheaper. And so, you hear these people that talk about, Bitcoin's long-term security policy and this and that. No, like Bitcoin's long-term security policy will be sorted out by the community. Like we don't need to increase the amount of coins. Like there's a lot of coins in circulation already. There's 19 million of them. Where the fuck are they gonna go? They've got to stay on the ledger. Like, let's recycle them. This is what actual proper recycling sort of looks like, is throwing your coins further into the future instead of just trying to find some arbitrary, Frankenstein fix to it. It's like, God. Anyway, everyone likes things their own way in our society, and Bitcoin's kind of good because it's sort of checking everyone at the door, where it's like, it's its way or the highway. So you bend to Bitcoin, it doesn't bend to you, literally. And everyone finds this out the hard way, from Elon Musk to Bill Gates, you name it. Everyone's been kicked in the nuts by Bitcoin at some point. I know I have. Dude, it feels like I'm kicked in the nuts every day by this fucking thing. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. Like, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what we were just talking about. So we're talking about time locking coins really far into the future, in the hopes that miners now have, these little treasure chests to collect along the way. Like it doesn't have to be, nothing's got to be perfect, but we got to start cooking up ideas and stuff like that, because it's only going to get more expensive in the future. So every decision that we delay is going to cost more Bitcoin, and odds are, whatever it is, it's going to cost work to do these fixes and these amendments, or making sure things are still secure is always going to cost work, and work always costs money, and now we know money's Bitcoin, so we don't want to spend too much of it. So we want to keep the work down to a minimum, and so that's why we try and play within the framework and the parameters that we've already been given. Everyone's sort of very anal, and you got these toxic maximalism. I think it's the best thing on earth. Not being rude, it's healthy. The easiest way to break into any system is always social engineering, and so toxic maximalism is fantastic, because that social engineering attack looks like, hey, let's make more coins. Hey, let's do this. Hey, no, let's shut the fuck up. It's it. We're not changing the color blue to be called red because you feel like it. No, it's fucking Bitcoin. That's it. Look at it if you like it. Don't look at it if you don't like it. But it's its way or the highway. And I think it's very hard to learn that in today's society, because we have everything at our fingertips. Uber, some McDonald's shows up, I press a button. That's how much work I have to do. That amount of physical work, and meals just show up in my home. So what do I do when someone says no to me about anything? You're like, it's like Bitcoin says no to everyone. It never says the word yes. Hey, do you want to change me? Yeah, sure, that's fine. No, fuck no, I'm not letting you change me. That's what Bitcoin's like. Bitcoin's like a really stubborn person in a good way. And I like that. That's beautiful, because everything in today's society is so putty and ephemeral. It's all, let's build this, shit thing that's gonna last 8 years, then you gotta buy another one. Why the fuck do I have to buy 20 cars? Like, you gotta buy a car a year, a car 2 years. What are the expectations of that? People that go shopping every year, it's like, what, did you grow so many sizes? It's like, what are you spending on? Anyway, I'm a sucker for all that shit, but this is the consciousness I'm talking about, where I'm like, having all these aha moments, Bitcoin gives you all these aha moments, you start thinking, I'm a fucking idiot. Look at what I'm spending my money. What the fuck am I doing? And you sort of like break out of character, and you're like, anyway, so I'm not fully out of character. I'm still like in fiat land, obviously, but I'm self-aware now, and I think, just going a bit more sentient. So yeah.
having a fixed
Sorry for the
reference.
ramble, mate.
No, that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
I want the ramble. I
Sure.
want the rant. I want you to just crack it open and
Sure.
just give it to us because this is what we're here for. Just fucking give it to us. Michael, please don't hold back.
Yeah.
Having a fixed frame of reference
Mm.
for value
Yes.
is the big step function.
Absolutely.
It's a measurement that we have never had before. Because
Yes.
It's like having, we've got 100 millimeters for a meter.
Yep.
Oh, let's just add a few more millimeters. How can you build a civilization?
Ever.
How can you build
ever.
anything?
And I think that's a fantastic analogy. It's a measuring system. It's a measuring
It's a
system.
measuring
now.
system for value, and we have that now.
Yeah.
But I just love this concept of ripping a wormhole in
Yeah.
to the future.
Yeah.
And that there's a future right now looking back at you.
Oh, yeah, us-
right now,
us here
or
sitting, like,
but you in
talking?
particular,
No.
planting this seed
Yeah.
and donating your Bitcoin into the future for
So,
miners
yeah.
to still have
Yeah.
what will be a massive reward.
50 million times the current block reward.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So just describe that little bit.
Yeah, well, I mean, the idea is like these miners are, they're doing all the work. They are the security policy of the network, as are the social, the so-called cyber audits. They're good. But, there's two security policies. There's physical security and there's a social security. And so the miners are the most important people in the world pretty much right now in terms of, if you want to slice it anyway, money. Bitcoin's the most important money in the world. They're the kings of that. Security is the most important thing in the world. They're the strongest at securing stuff. And then if you want to look at energy efficiency, I don't think you're going to find a more energy efficient operation than a miner, because those guys are running on the smell of an oily rag, trying to stay afloat. So they're trying to find the most optimal ways to do everything. So when you think about that, it's like, well, these miners, you want to make sure you keep their party going. We owe them a lot. We owe them almost the whole thing, right? They are the superstars. They're the heroes of the journey. And so, when we think about what keeps them being the hero, it is the carrot to wake up in the morning and turn the machines on and get cranking.
Yeah.
But, and so soon, I think mining might change a lot in the future, but at least in its current state, it feels like we would have Bitcoin miners. We would want to know for certainty. Like when someone comes to you and they go, Bitcoin's got no security policy, it's like Bitcoin's run out. It's like, bro, oh my God. I want an answer to that. And that's why I'm putting that thing there, because it's like an answer. It's like, shut the fuck up, we're not even worrying about it. We will go to 100 solutions, we'll implement one when we want to, and until then, there's all these ad hoc ones that'll keep the party going. So it's like, we just need less distractions, and everyone is always trying to nitpick everything. We don't have time to nitpick everything. We've got to really do the work ourselves, I think, to sort of say, well, Ethereum is great if you want to, and if you, like, Ethereum is really good if you're trying to replicate the financial system that we got and upgrade it, which it absolutely, it's fantastic, it's much more efficient. I'm not lying. I've run a payments company and it's really fucking difficult to run. Ethereum would make that 400 million times easier. But I don't think it's about the payments. I don't think it's about how do I buy all these shit that I don't need. I think everyone's having a real kind of framework changing where they're like, holy shit, I'm not a wants-based person anymore, because we're all wants-based. I want this shirt, I want that hat, I want that camera, I want that speaker, oh, what's that new thing? Want. That's a very, I don't think that's meant to be how life is lived. You're not meant to build shit that dies in 2 years.
No.
Bitcoin is sort of setting a standard again about this lack of ephemerality. Let's build perpetual things that last indefinitely. Let's build beautiful art. Let's build beautiful structures that other civilizations in the future, they can look back on us and be proud of us. All the cameras are on us. Like,
Yeah.
If it's fucking shit in 80 years, you know who they're going to blame? They're not going to blame themselves. They're going to do the same thing we do. We blame the cunts before us.
Yeah.
And we're going to keep doing that. And no one wants to ever be accountable, which is fine. We'll accept it, whatever. But let's just be real. There's going to be, we've got to think about it. And it doesn't get any cheaper. Now's the cheapest time. And I'm not encouraging everyone else to. Everyone do what they want. But that's the beauty of Bitcoin. You can do whatever the fuck you want. In a good way. Like a healthy way.
Yeah.
I don't mean be a dickhead way and ruin the world way. I mean, like, you can just be you. Like, you don't have to, like, imagine if every time you had a conversation with someone was in here, like, standing here, like, what are you saying? Yeah. That's what an intermediary almost is. And it's sort of like a bit clunky. So, like, yeah, it's a bit, just it's sort of like, well, I got you there in my personal space. Like, you know what I mean? So, I think this just takes the pressure off for a lot of people. And I think one of the most important things is the peace of mind that people get. Once you take money out of the equation, like, you stop, if it's not confusing to you anymore, which it was very confusing to me for a long time, because I'm not really good at that stuff, or the economicsy stuff. My brother's quite knowledgeable at it, but I'm just don't have that same kind of financial, comprehension that he does, I don't think. But it is fascinating to think, like, everyone's learning more about money. And the more you learn about money, like a lot of the guys that said it, or a lot of the people on stage mentioned, you know, this peace of mind they get now. They don't have to worry about what inflation's doing, this and that. They're just like, no, I'm on a different standard. I changed trains a couple of weeks ago, whatever it is, a couple of years ago. I'm on a different train. I don't care if you're going to Vaucluse or Bondi Beach or whatever. I'm already on my way to the Gold Coast or wherever you're going to go, you know? So, yeah, Byron. That's kind of my language, Byron, yeah. So, I've just been trying to hold in my burps, excuse me, because I was sick earlier this week. So, anyway, yeah, that's the end of my shit story, part of my language. Yeah.
So it's a good lesson for us all to take a breath, realise that you are on a different train, think about the future, think about long-term future, because we have such a short-term future.
Yeah.
If we're thinking 5 years ahead, man, we're long-term. Where's our 500-year plan?
Yeah.
Where's our galactic plan? Where's our 10,000-year plan to get to the end of the galaxy? Where is that?
Yeah.
Where's Earth's humanity? Where are we going? Well, in 10,000 years, we're going to be halfway to Pluto.
We're all on the same team. Like we should be. It should function like an organisation almost. Like where you've got teams that are specialised in certain things. And I would love to see like the country. I mean the Earth. It'd be sick if we all became one. We all have one communication channel. So we call that the internet. We've got one money. We'd have one theory, which is a unified field theory, which would sort of be a physics sort of equivalent of Bitcoin or internet sort of thing, like one of those mega solutions. But like all this, yeah, we've got so much potential. Like, and we're just sitting here fucking around biffing on each other. It's like, bro, we're all stuck on this fucking rock flying through Earth. I didn't ask to be here. Like, I don't know if you did. I couldn't talk to my parents before I was born and be like, hey man, not for me. No, I was born here. It's like, you know, mum's vagina. You come out, let's go, get an education. What, you're paying tax? Let's go. And you're like, you're getting shuffled through this queue of life. And you're like, Do you know what I mean though?
Oh, fuck yeah.
No one asked to be here. So I'm saying like, who died and made you king kind of thing. You know, when I started hearing the people go and get along, it's like, oh, fuck that. Yeah. It's like, bro, are you fucking crazy? Why are we gonna eat ourselves from the inside? Like, let's just all fucking get along, figure it out. Anyway, it's funny, but money is money is like, cancer, AIDS. Like, I think money is, like, energy is really important. Money is a proxy for energy.
It is.
But we have a proxy for energy when we don't have infinite energy. If we have infinite energy, then we don't need a proxy for money.
Yes.
Because it's only there because we have a finite amount of energy. So what I think a step function in the future that we'll see is some new equations that will sort of be like with the same line of thinking of, you know, E equals mc squared from Einstein. I reckon it'll be something similar like that. That's got a total, by the way, the adoption curve for that, 8 billion people. 8 billion people. If you're on this planet, you use that equation, whether we like it or not. Now that's a pretty cool startup founder. Einstein, OG as fuck. So how many people are using your startup? It's pretty lightweight. It's 6 characters long or whatever. It's like, oh really? It's like, yeah. How many people? 8 billion? What? It's like, now that is changing the world.
Yeah.
Building some fucking, you know, I don't know, some circle jerky bullshit. No, we're not here for a long time, but our work is now with Bitcoin. Our work can be here for a long time. So it's sort of interesting. I don't know, it's all new to me sort of thing. Like, I mean, I've been in the space for a long time, but this kind of, maybe 10 years. So 2013, I think 2012. But like, you know, my framework was I would say very sheltered, to be honest. Like, being very honest, like I feel like I had a very fortunate, like, education and things like that. So I actually didn't have, in Australia, I felt like there was a lot less around me that had a lot of, I just didn't think about the government as a thing. It's always, and Australia's always really been pretty colloquial like that. Like, we've never really been, like Bob Hall's sculling beers at the footy and everyone's fucking loving it. We all pump him up on YouTube. That's what I mean, you know, like we don't take ourselves too seriously, which I think is really healthy. But yeah, recently you've noticed, like, it's just kind of, everyone's getting a little more disgruntled, a little more unhappy, and people are just sort of, you know, governments are not a bad thing, by the way. They're not a bad thing at all. Governments need to exist, but bad ones don't. Bad ones and dishonest ones don't. Yeah. We all need order and structure as human beings, I think. Now, I'm not condoning that people print money. That's fucking robbery. I'm saying if we had people that were good at their jobs, that knew how to do their jobs, like, it's like obvious, like America's a fentanyl problem. What are we even talking about? Anything. People in your country don't have running water and we're talking about something else. Mate, if you're the CEO of a company and there's a burning hole in the side of your company, and you're like, yeah, Yeah, well, let's have a product meeting. It's like, bro, the servers are on fire. You sure? It's like, let's do a product let's do a product roadmap.
What
it's like,
hats are we going to wear this week?
But come on, guys, I can't be expected to take that seriously, and it's unreasonable for any person in a position of, I don't know, whatever it is, but you can't be expected to take it seriously. If I walk around with my pants down around my ankles in the middle of the street, people are going to be like, I'm not taking that guy. See, if I go to a job interview with my pants around my ankles, that's what these countries, like a lot of them look like. It's just, and it's not like there's no solutions. No one gives a fuck. And it's just like, well, it's like, good on you, you don't give a fuck. No one's incentivized, no one gives a fuck. Everyone's still worrying about, this and that, and the nice car and the nice shirt and blah, blah. It's like, bro, there are so many lopsided situations in this world that we need to polish up.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I don't know. I think Bitcoin's helped me. I don't know. I just think it's something different. It's new. It's a new way of thinking. That's the main way of putting it. It's a new way of thinking, and I feel like that's been more valuable than anything else, if anything. Like, watching the COVID stuff, I learned so much about just not trusting face value. Like, that was a big educational thing for me. Yep, I'm one of those suckers. I buy into it. I bought into the media. Why wouldn't I? I've been shilled the media since I've been zero. I don't know any better. So I would not ever know any better. But then Bitcoin comes along and is like, hey dude, just so you know, like, you don't have to believe everything you read. And I'm like, really? It's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, cool. So now it's a bit more discounted, right? Like, you treat it a bit more theatrically, or so. I don't know. Anyway, so I feel like I'm talking your ears off.
Yeah, that's what we're here for. Yeah. So do you think that line of that mathematical line of equation in the Bitcoin code, do you think that's ripped a hole in consciousness?
Yes, 1,000%. That 1,000,000,000,000%. In space-time, I call this a twist, which
space-time.
is space-time. There is, we cannot go back. You put the genie back in the bottle. There is no way that in the future you will not see anything related to Bitcoin from this point on. It's not possible. We don't. I don't personally. I don't, and I try to think of myself as quite a good adversarial thinker. I don't know how to get rid of the color blue. I don't know how to get rid of the color number 7, letter A. Yeah. Bitcoin's the same thing. And people are talking about Bitcoin needs First Amendment rights. Yeah, I see that, but no, Bitcoin doesn't need to be localized because it's not. Who invented it? Satoshi Nakamoto. Good. Well, right now, he doesn't exist, and he is an electrical current, because the only thing that Satoshi Nakamoto is, with absolute certainty right now, is an electrical current on a server. Because we've never seen it, we've never heard it. We've only seen an account post with a PGP key, which is an electrical current. It's a proof of work to create a thing. So until further notice, that dude's an electrical current, he's doing well. Good for him. He doesn't have to deal with the shit we deal with in human land, meat space. No, but like, it's just, when you think about things, what a camp, what a privilege we are, what a privilege we have to be alive for this. I started saying it on stage, and I think I got distracted, but it was like, we are at a point where people say it's bad that we're too old to discover the Earth and we're too young to discover the stars, and I don't agree anymore. Bitcoin's the new star discovery system almost, or whatever you want to call it, but it's a new paradigm. It's going to change the way people think, and I really think that it's going to produce a lot of really new, cool things. And I know people are talking about this new and cool now, but I mean, like, no. I'm not talking like, oh, this is a sick new calendar app. No. I'm talking like fucking quantum engines that travel galaxies and sort of shit. And I know that sounds retarded. Sure, it's fine. I'm happy to be that. I just almost believe this with absolute certainty. My work's all there. I can just prove it. They can complain, whatever. But until they tell me otherwise, I'm having a real hard trouble seeing Bitcoin as not the biggest thing ever. Yeah.
It's one of the tropes that's always used is it's not an invention, it's a discovery. And it's like the guy who discovered pi. Pi is 3.1 whatever, goes on forever, blah, for infinity. Mm-hmm. And infinity is a thing that was discovered, not invented, and so is the number 0.
Yeah, absolutely.
Discovered and not invented. And all those things have allowed us to build civilization like never before. Mm-hmm. And so this concept of absolute scarcity and absolute digital scarcity allows us to develop a civilization far into the future that we can't possibly imagine.
Absolutely. And we can't change either. And that's really important, because, like, I have my own preferences, you have your own preferences, we all do. But, like, when they start changing the definition of words in, like, civilization, I feel like that's pretty not cool. Like, I mean, it's like, if we're changing anything, no worries. Let's just put an asterisk next to it and say, hey, we changed this, we updated it. It's like, when you look back at history, it needs the show me the amendments in the journal, but like, I mean, yeah, it just feels like we're in a bit of a ego trip almost as society, where it's like, oh, me. No, we're changing everything for me. It's me. Everything falls like bend around me, and I mean me colloquially, like society.
Yeah.
We're used to getting everything, and we don't get it immediately. Remember, proof of work. That's how much work I'm doing. Fuck all. If I don't get it, I'm gonna get antsy. I'm gonna get the shits. Oh no, crybaby. Too fucking bad. The world doesn't work like that. Unfortunately, machines have taught us that everything comes instantly for easy. No, it doesn't. And we're about to have, I think, obviously with ChatGPT and all this sort of stuff, I mean, most people are out of a job long term. There's new jobs, but they're out of their current domain of expertise. I think it's going to promote people that have original thought. That's going to turn into a currency for those guys, so for like ChatGPT. But I mean, it just comes to show that, you know, I just think it's like we've been almost throttled in our thought size, like how big we can think. Well, we can't think any bigger than, you know, whatever it is, but now we've got Bitcoin and it lasts forever, so it's like that's a whole new conversation we've never been able to have. So now we can't rewrite history because we dislike this word, or we can't change this because it offends me. Whatever it is, it's not about you. It's all about working on one team. And right now the team logo is Bitcoin. It's the heaviest source of energy we have on the world, on the planet. It's the heaviest, it's the largest being communicated, like communally defended and maintained. Guys, we should stop everything in humanity right now and really get every head looking at this and being like, oh. And you know what? I think that's basically what's happened with the Bitcoin community. Every cunt I meet in this kind of language, every person I meet, like, they're all fucking guns and something. And you stand there, I feel like a fucking idiot with my dick in my hand, dropped out of 3, he's got like 60 in the HSC or whatever. But like, you know what I mean? But I love it. I come here, I learn heaps of shit. I even learn heaps of shit from my brother, and I have lunch with him, you know, every other day. But he sort of looks at this from the traditional financial markets and asset management and stuff, and he's about to go on, so I'm gonna have to jump. But yeah, it's fascinating. I think we're deprioritizing it when we should be prioritizing it more. And I don't even care about, I'm not talking about making more money. This is not about pumping anyone's bags. I'm just saying, it's cool shit. Feel free to look at it. It's almost like the problem it has is that it is too good to be true. Yeah. Where it's like, what's the catch? What's the catch? Yeah. We're talking about this on the way here, my brother and his friend and guy we met, Scott. And we're just saying, like, that is almost the kicker. You're sort of like, it's almost like when things, you know, when you sleep in the morning and you're like, you get a too good a sleep and you check to see if you slept through your alarm and you're like, hold on, I feel too sleepy, this is too good. And you're still early and you're like, oh yeah. That's what Bitcoin's sort of like now. It's like, it's too good to be true, and you're sort of sus, like, it's like, wait, am I late for work? It's like, no, it's you're early. I'm like, this doesn't feels too good to be true. I feel like I've gotten too much sleep. Bitcoin's kind of like that. But yeah. I agree. If you excuse me, I'm going to rock and roll. What I want. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm Michael. You? Dan. Dan, okay, I thought so. Hi, sorry.
Hi, I'm Britt.
Britt?
Yeah.